Hello and welcome to the Christmas Mini Maker Book Club box. I am so excited for this one and I can't wait to read you our story, and I'm going to do it at the very end. In case you got to read it on your own already, I want to jump right into the projects. But if you haven't got to read it, we're going to read it at the end together. So today, this featured project is Christmasaurus. It's such a wonderful book all about believing. And so this project, we have two of them. The first little guy is an ornament with dinosaurs, of course, and the word believe. So we're gonna do that one. And then the second project is gonna be a sign that says believe in the magic of Christmas. So the process for both of them is really similar, but I'm gonna do a couple different techniques on each, and I hope that you love it. So with no further ado, let's dive in. So the first thing I'm gonna do is paint my background of my ornament. Now, I want to kind of capture the look of the book because it's gonna remind me at Christmas time how awesome this book is. So you can see the background kind of fades. It almost looks like a night sky. And so what I'm gonna do is take my sponge, and we've already cut them for you to make them a little smaller because this is a small little project. And I am going to start with the light purple. And purple seems like a crazy color for Christmas, but it's gonna all work out. So I'm gonna just go ahead and put a light layer of purple on everything, all the way to the bottom. And I'm using just a little bit of paint. I don't wanna use too much because then it's not gonna dry, and watching paint dry is not fun. So I got a little bit of purple, and then I'm gonna use the same sponge. I'm just using the other side of it, and I'm gonna start from the bottom and move up. Now, that's gonna help my colors start to blend as I start running out of paint. You can determine if you want it to be mostly blue or mostly purple, but I'm gonna come back with that same sponge on the purple side and fade it back down a little bit. And you can just keep playing with this look until you love the way that your night sky looks. So I'm gonna add a little bit more blue. And now I have the front of my ornament, and you can see it looks like a night sky, much like the Christmasaurus book does. Now, you can choose if you want to do both sides. I'm gonna just do the one side just so you don't have to watch me do something twice. All right, I like to keep some paper towel nearby just to wipe my hands off. And once you get your background, we're gonna put a stencil on it, so we need it to be really dry. So I like to grab a blow dryer. You could also just wait for it to air dry, but let's make it go faster. Okay, I'm gonna keep my blow dryer in my lap. Now, this is a part that you might want a grown-up to help because we don't wanna have our stencil stick together or anything. So maybe have a grown-up help. What you're gonna do is flip it over, and our goal is to have all of the blue stick to the clear. So already mine's misbehaving. So I'm gonna fold that white back, and I'm gonna peel it nice and slow, straight back. If anything starts to come up, I would just push it down, crease it, and roll it straight back again. So now I have just the blue on here. Nothing blue is on my white. I'm gonna put that to the side. Okay? Now, before I stick this stencil on, I want to make sure that my board is really smooth. So you have a little piece of sandpaper in yours. I just have a whole sanding block in the studio. So I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna rub it really hard. And now you can feel it's nice and smooth, and that's gonna help our stencil stick better. My paper is making lots of noise. Okay, so now I'm flipping it over. This is the sticky side, and I'm going to put it on my project. Okay, so I lined it up. Now I'm gonna push it really good. Push your fingers down. Okay, now we're gonna take that clear layer, and I'm gonna peel the clear away just like I did the white. If any blue comes up, I wanna push back forward and make sure it stays down on my ornament. Okay, so now I have my ornament with my sticker on it, okay? Now, step 2 is you get to determine your colors. These are little tiny designs. So again, we've already cut your sponges smaller than they are. So you're gonna have sponges that look like this, okay? Now to me, our trees, normally I would do them green, but because it's winter, I wanna have a little bit of fun with them too. So I'm gonna do them a combination of both. So let's do green first. I'm gonna do a sponge here. I'm gonna dip, scrape, unload twice on the paper towel. See how I dabbed it? So it's nice and dry on my sponge. And then I'm gonna stamp or hop straight up and straight down. So dip, scrape, bam, bam. Make sure it looks dry, and then hop just where the trees are. If I run out of paint, do the same thing. Dip, scrape, bam, bam. Hop, 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 hop. And I'm just gonna keep hopping. Until I get all my green filled in, okay? I'm gonna put, now I like to try and stay organized. I'm gonna put my green sponge in front of my green paint because that's gonna help later, okay? Now I wanna decide what color do I want Santa's sleigh and the dinosaurs to be. To me, I think it's gonna be a little bit of a shadow. So I'm gonna do the dark navy blue. You could do red, you could do silver. There's no rules, okay? This is your creative ornament, so you do what colors you like. So I'm gonna dip, scrape, hit my paper towel, and then hop over just Santa and the dinosaurs. Okay, now my first layer is going on a little bit light. That's okay, I don't wanna put more paint on it yet. I want it to dry so it seals those edges. So put my sponge down where it belongs, and then I'm gonna use the top of this sponge to do my stars. The other thing that you can do if that feels a little stressful is you can use the little paintbrush that you have. And so let me demo that. So you could use the sponge or the paintbrush. I'm just dipping. I'm still gonna unload a little bit. And now I'm just putting a little dab of paint over where each little star is. So by using the brush with little tiny things like this, it helps us not go over and make a mistake where we put silver where maybe we don't want it, okay? So now that I did all that, I'm gonna do it one more time and make sure my print's nice and dark. So here we go. Okay, now I promised you we were gonna do something fun with the trees, okay? What I'm gonna do is I'm going to use one of my chip brushes that's in my kit, okay? This is gonna be fun. I want it to be like snow, right? So I'm going to take my brush, dip it in the white, hit the paper towel, and then I'm just gonna tickle the trees like it's snowing. Tickle, 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 tickle. And then I might add some snow on the ground too. And I'm gonna use a little stippling motion for the snow on the ground. So you can do that stuff if you want. You don't have to. This is your project. Once you have it all painted, I have tweezers in the studio. We do sell these on our website if you want your own pair of tweezers, but they are really sharp. A safety pin works really well too, but this is another part you might want grown-ups help with, okay? So I'm just going to take and loosen that stencil. So I'm not digging with my tweezers or my safety pin. I'm just kind of using it to push the stencil up a little bit so I can grab it and peel it away. And this is the tiniest little part, so I'm just pushing it lightly, getting it to peel away, pushing it lightly, and getting it to peel away. So I'm not digging, I'm just pushing. So that's why a safety pin can work really well too. And there's my ornament. It looks a lot like the front of my book. So to me, that's a great reminder of how awesome this book is gonna be. Now, I want to add a little bit of fun to my ornament so I can hang it on a tree. So you're gonna take your ribbon, and we've already cut your V's in. I'm just prepping it for my tutorial for y'all here. And now here's the trick, okay? Fold the ribbon, take the loop side that you just folded, feed it through, and now put it on the table, okay? Take your ribbon and pinch it. We're gonna pinch it so it looks like an accordion, okay? Put it in front of your ornament. Put your 2 fingers through your loop, grab the remainder of your twine, and then pull, pull, pull. Wiggle, wiggle, pull, pull, pull. Wiggle, wiggle, pull, pull, pull. Okay, there's our ornament, and now I want it to stay down, so I'm just gonna tie, like I would a shoe, just one thing. And now I'm wrapping around my finger, pushing through the hole, and pulling. And now we have our ornament. Good job. Okay, let's go to our second project, which is the same thing. I'm just gonna make it a little bigger. So now I have my big board, clearing my spot. Okay. And the stencil or the project's gonna say, believe in the magic of Christmas. So I still want my background to look like a night sky, but I'm gonna make it, I'm trying to decide. Oh, I think let's stay with the same type project that we did before so my pieces match. So I'm gonna use a little bit bigger sponge, dip in your purple again, okay? And push big motions, like you're pushing the paint on and off and on and off. Big motions. All the way on, all the way off. So I'm gonna get a good coverage all the way first, and then I'm gonna come add that blue. Big swipes. Okay, do get your edges too. And again, if you want, you can paint the back of your sign, especially if you're gonna display it on a shelf, then you want the back of it to be displayed. If you're gonna hang it on a wall, then it probably doesn't matter. So dip, let's get a good layer of purple, so it's not too shiny, I'm just getting enough paint on here. Okay, now remember we're gonna use that same sponge, just the opposite side. I'm dipping into my navy, and I'm starting at the bottom. Okay, big long strokes. And I like to go all the way up to the top, running out of paint. And then I can come all the way down because my paint's all still wet, so it's helping me blend it into each other. Okay, I want it a little bit more on the navy side. So I'm gonna add more navy. And motion all the way up. All right. So now I have a really nice blend there. Do you remember what the next step was? Here I have a project that's pretty wet. Before I stick a sticker onto it, I need to make it dry. So let's blow dry. Whoops. It's like gale force winds around here. Are you blow drying too? Make sure it's really, really dry. And when you think it's dry, go a little bit longer. Okay, there's my dry project. I'm gonna have to go get those tweezers in a second. I'm gonna use my sanding block again, or for you have that little piece of sandpaper, and I'm gonna sand it really good. All right, what do you guys think? Does it look like our book? I think so. All right, now I have my board dry, I have it sanded, so now it's time for that stencil again. So I'm gonna flip it over, get grown-ups to help you. You don't wanna mess up your stencil. And this part can be tricky because it's kind of bigger. So I'm gonna peel that white back, and if anything starts coming up, I'm gonna push, crease, and peel it back some more. Oh, that's starting to come up, so I'm gonna push, crease, and peel it back nice and low. Push, crease. So anytime something's being stubborn, just kind of add a crease, push it hard, and peel a little bit straighter back. Okay, then we don't need that. Now I'm gonna flip it over, line it up at the top, and then shimmy it down a little bit. Now I'm gonna push. Push, push, push. And peel that clear back the same way we did before. We want all the blue to stay down, so if that's coming up, roll it back forward, crease it, and pull it straight back. If you're having any troubles getting it to stick, it means your board might not be all the way dry. So you might have to heat it up and then try and put your stencil on again. You don't want to use the blow dryer with the stencils because you can melt the adhesive to the board. All right, so now I have my stencil on. Now it's time to hop, 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 hop again. All right, so I know that I want to do the snowflakes and this in silver, okay? So I'm gonna use a sponge this time because it's bigger area. I'm gonna dip, scrape, unload, hop, 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 hop. So I got my one layer of silver on. Dip, scrape, unload, hop, hop, hop. Okay. Let's do these 3 little dots too. Okay, put that to the side. Now, I want to do my tree green, so I'm going to use my same sponge, dip, scrape, unload on that paper towel, hop, 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 hop. So I went over into my letter just a little bit. It's okay, we can just cover that up. But we want to make sure that our paint doesn't look shiny when it's on our board. So if it looks shiny, you got to hit that paper towel a little bit harder, okay? Let's see. If I look at my book, Christmasaurus is in red, and it's in the light color. If I put red down in the dark, it might not show up as well. So I'm going to put believe in our red. So I'm going to dip, scrape, hit that paper towel, and hop. Dip, scrape, unload, hop, hop, hop. Now you'll see that red isn't covering a whole lot because red is a very funny color to work with sometimes. So I got one thin layer on. Now I'm gonna let it dry while I go work on something else. Okay, let's go ahead and do the word Christmas in white because I want it to really stand out, and it's on a dark color. So I'm gonna dip, scrape, unload, and hop. And I'm gonna also do my word in white too. Okay? And to me, the word magic means magic and glittery and sparkly. And so I'm gonna bring back that silver for the banner that's magic. Now this is funny because the words are there and then the whole banner is a cutout. That's a good thing. We wanna fill in the whole banner because then we're gonna peel the words out and those will actually be our background color. So fill in your whole banner. Okay, now that I did that all once, I'm gonna go back and do everything one more time. Remember, we never want it to look shiny on the board. And I try and go in the same order that I did the first time, so that way my paint's having a chance to dry in between layers, and that will help drastically because then you're not just pushing wet paint around the board. Okay, now again, we have these little tiny areas here and that's hard to get with the sponge. So I'm gonna use my paintbrush again. I've cleaned it off. And I'm just gonna fill those in with red. And then I'm gonna dry it off again. And then I'm gonna fill the holly berries in with green. So I'm making sure I don't use too much paint because I don't want the paint to go underneath my stencil. So I'm just filling it in and then I'm trying to make it look nice and smooth because you want it to look like the rest of your project too and not dry really chunky. Okay, now I gotta get that red done. Forgot that in my order of operations. And your red might need 3 coats, and you might be fine with 2. So just make sure you got a good coverage is what we're looking for. You shouldn't be able to see the background through it, but you want to build those layers nice and slow without being shiny because if you use too much paint, it's going to go underneath again. Oh, I'm liking it. Okay, I'm gonna do one little quick layer of white and then we're gonna reveal our project. Awesome. Now one tip I have is to take all your paint and put it to the side. And now we're gonna peel. And then we have one last finishing touch to put on our ornament too, now that it's dry. So stay tuned. Okay, so again, I'm gonna use those tweezers and I'm gonna peel off as much as I can all in one thing. When it rips, it's okay. Just pull that to the side and then use your tweezers to grab the next bit. And remember, I'm not digging, I'm pushing. use it to push. And especially when you get to your banner, just push the letters so you don't scrape your banner. Just push and push. Little spots in my snowflakes. All right, you ready? Look at that. Believe in the magic of Christmas. It goes right with our book, The Christmasaurus, which I'm really excited about. But to me, there's one thing missing on our ornament. And we're gonna discover what the theme of this book is as we read it. But I'll give you a hint, it's all about believing, like I said earlier. So I have my ornament, but then you also see I have this 3D cutout of the word. I wanna help tie these two projects together, so I'm gonna put believe in red. And it's just a little bit of paint. I actually didn't even redip my sponge. I had plenty just on there. Then I'm gonna take that glue pot and open it up. I'm gonna use my little brush, clean it off, and just put really little dots of glue. We don't want to use too much glue because it'll push out the sides and then you'll see glue and not your project. Okay, so I'm gonna line up both so I know that I have space. And I'm gonna put little dots just on this, making sure I get at least probably 2 or 3 dots on every letter. There we go. Now it's finished. So let's see if I can hold all these projects up at once. I hope that you love your, I did not do it, hold on. I think this is gonna work better. There we go. I hope you love your mini maker projects. I hope you hang your ornament on your tree and that you hang your sign for all to see. And let's read Christmasaurus so we know what we just did these projects for. All right, I'm gonna turn my projects here so you guys can see them. Let's put my paint to the side. Clean up my area a little bit. Get ready to listen to a story, so put your listening ears on. And let's read Christmasaurus by Tom Fletcher. Santa and his reindeer live as north as you can go in a place that's full of magic and quite a lot of snow. But Santa and his reindeer do not live on their own, for there's a special dinosaur that also calls it home. Turn the page. Here's the Christmasaurus, and he's one of a kind. No matter where you look, he'll be the only one you'll find. The Christmasaurus had a wish that someday he might fly and pull the sleigh on Christmas Eve across the winter sky. I'll train you, Santa bellowed. I can show you how it's done. And now that I'm your teacher, let's begin with lesson 1. First, you need to gobble up this flying reindeer food. I'm sure it'll help a dino reach a higher altitude. The Christmasaurus munched and jumped in towards the northern lights, but in a flash, he crashed head first right into the ice. Ouch. He looks like he's hurting. Santa scratched his fluffy beard. Well, that's a shame, he said. I need to leave. It's Christmas Eve, and children are in bed. But not to worry, Santa smiled. No need to look so blue. We'll try again next Christmas when I'll teach you lesson 2. Spring turned to summer, and autumn whizzed right by. Then it was Christmas once again, and time to try and fly. You'll need to think a happy thought like Christmas fairies do. If happy thoughts can work for them, I bet they'll work for you. So Christmasaurus thought of fluffy clouds upon his scales, but happy thoughts don't always end like Christmas fairy tales. Uh-oh. Oh, ho, ho, no, that didn't work, said Santa with a sigh. I'm afraid it's Christmas Eve, so time for me to fly. And when the sleigh packed full of toys to leave beneath the tree, he said, we'll try next Christmas, when it's time for lesson 3. Flowers bloomed and sunshine beamed and leaves turned brown and fell. Then smells of Christmas filled the air to sounds of jingle bells. We've made you wings, sang Santa. They're sure to help you fly. Just flap them like a bird and you'll soar across the sky. Look at his wings. The Christmasaurus closed his eyes and flapped with all his might. But even Santa's gifts of wings could not make him take flight. And roared a little cry and shed a frozen tear. He'd have to wait for lesson 4 and try again next year. Careful with that page. Hold it in there. But as the elves were loading all the toys upon the sleigh, an idea popped into Santa's brain that wouldn't go away. Christmasaurus, why not come along with us tonight? When I deliver presents, you can feel the thrill of flight. Without a second thought, the Christmasaurus climbed aboard, and with their dino passenger into the sky they soared. Flying in the sleigh was even better than he dreamed. A house by house he watched as down the chimney Santa went. That was fun. Stay in the sleigh, warned Santa. Now you mustn't go exploring. Wait here while I leave presents for the children inside snoring. Christmasaurus didn't listen. Christmasaurus didn't stay. He fell into a chimney, and then Santa flew away. His ho, ho, ho got quieter the higher that they climbed, not realizing that Christmasaurus had been left behind. Inside the house was quiet, but not everyone was sleeping, for through the twinkling Christmas lights a little boy was peeping. He saw the most amazing sight a child could hope to see, a living, breathing dinosaur next to the Christmas tree. He watched the Christmasaurus staring sadly at the sky and understood this dinosaur was wishing it could fly. Hello, are you lost? He asked the prehistoric creature. If you want to fly, then maybe I could be your teacher. You don't need magic food or wings or even happy thoughts. In fact, I'm not sure flying is a thing that can be taught. Santa's reindeer only fly if kids like me believe. So if your dreaming is flying, maybe I'm the thing you need. Midnight came and Christmas Eve turned into Christmas Day. The boy made rings from Christmas lights. His wheelchair was the sleigh. He started to believe perhaps this dinosaur could fly. And just like that, the two of them took off into the sky. They flew high over rooftops and sleepy streets below to the place that's full of magic and quite a lot of snow. They laughed and sang for hours in the North Pole's glistening glow, but morning was approaching and the boy would need to go. Then Santa said the magic doesn't end on Christmas Day. For someone who believes, we're always just a wish away. They climbed aboard the sleigh and all the reindeer took their places. The elves waved them goodbye with looks of joy upon their faces. And with a smile, the roaring Christmasaurus led the way. The boy had made his wish come true, pulling Santa's sleigh. And so the Christmasaurus and his brand new human friend shared a magic Christmas that they wished would never end. But the best thing about Christmas is, as each one fades away, you're always getting closer to another Christmas day. Thank you for reading with me, and I hope that you continue to believe.